Doug Herbert joins me on the set to talk a bit more about this visit. And Doug, is this really just all about optics, damage control at this point?
Okay, let's not be totally cynical, but you're right. A lot of it is about optics. For Olaf Scholz, a lot of this exercise is just being there, showing his face where it matters right now. First in Kiev, then in Moscow, reversing the order that Emmanuel Macron chose last week, first going to Moscow, then to Kiev. Look, we know Germany, Olaf Scholz in particular, a social democrat in a very tricky coalition government in Germany, has been under pressure for not really implicating himself, for not being involved enough, putting himself out there in the same way that his predecessor Angela Merkel presumably would have done in this crisis, his first real big foreign policy test of his new chancellorship. So what he's trying to do is, after last week, we saw him in Washington with Joe Biden, so sort of revving up the engine, saying, I am very much here. I'm not just opting out. I'm not just standing on the sidelines. I'm involved. I'm here. Then he came back to Berlin. He met the leaders of the Baltic states, very much frontline NATO allies in Eastern Europe, who are very much concerned about the prospects of some Russian aggression, meeting with them, showing, look, I'm involved. Again, I'm involved. With Ukraine, he has a heavy lift, Jeannie, because as we know, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been really outraged at the fact that Germany has drawn a line, unlike some of the other allies, with delivering weapons to Ukraine. He says we can't do that. And look, he has, in his defense, invoked historical reasons. He says, given Germany's historical responsibility for World War II and the atrocities of the Nazi regime, we have historically stayed away from sending weapons to conflict zones. That's the reason he's not doing it. Doesn't mean, though, that it hasn't raised a lot of hackles and a lot of frustration with the Ukrainians who say they need this type of help now. So what will he do? He will, A, try the bottom lines of his mission, try to at least show he's trying to keep the channels of dialogue open. That's what everyone who's come before him has tried to do, say that they're doing. Keep on talking, obviously, and reassure the Ukrainians we're there for you. No, we're not going to give you those weapons that you want. But what we are going to give you is we're there for financial aid. Ukraine has been one of the biggest donors, contributors of aid to Ukraine alongside the United States since really the annexation of Crimea in 2014, almost 2 billion euros. So it's going to perhaps put more money on the table. Will the big pipeline, Nord Stream 2, come up? Very likely it will be discussed, but don't expect Scholz. He will be the first one to tell you. He's not going to go further than anyone else before him has gone. He's going to have a conservative approach. He's going to just be on a reassurance mission. He's going to be showing, yes, I can also get involved here. I haven't forgotten how to do my job.
Right. So that's for today. Tomorrow he goes on to speak to the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. Some people are saying this is the West's last chance to really avert war. Is he going to come back with something more than his other predecessors did?
No, he will not. I say that sort of categorically, and people are like, well, how can you be so sure of that? Look, people who've gone to see Vladimir Putin in recent days, weeks, months, years, all come back with the same general impression. If anything, Putin is getting more hardline in his stances over the years. Whereas early on in his regime, he was more open to Europe and the West. They say now he is really sort of bedded down in his convictions more and more in a tighter, more closed, insular inner circle than ever before. Those convictions are greater hostility in general to the U.S. and to NATO and to Europe, greater sort of conviction in his own belief, some would say a paranoid belief, that the West is out to get him, that the West is out to humiliate him, a morally decadent West trying to bring Russia down, trying to lecture to Russia. How dare they do that? And a West that's encroaching on Russia. More solid in that conviction than ever before. And people who come away from meeting with him really say that they're almost struck by how much Putin has changed over the years. Even Putin, that gradual hardening of his convictions. He's harder now than ever. He is not there to be convinced. Some people say he's already actually won just by getting everyone to sort of pay court to him and go and meet with him at the Kremlin, like, a little rolling call of world leaders, trying to speak to Putin, trying to convince him not to do this. He's already gotten a lot of dividends from these visits. He's already gotten a lot of what he wants, which is the West is paying attention to him and his security grievances and demands in a big way. Perhaps that will be enough, even if eventually he sort of backs down. They find some diplomatic off-ramp to claim victory to the Russian people and say, we made ourselves heard. It's a victory for us. We can now close this chapter for now. His general grievances are not going to go away. He's not going to back down on any of his red lines, no matter who goes. You could send every world leader to his desk all at once and have them sit across that long 5-meter table. He is not going to back down. That's his red line.
All right, Doug, thanks for that. France 24's Doug Herbert.